Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be showing you the updated macOS templates. So this is our 9th revision of the macOS templates, which is mad to say, and we've decided to obviously spice it up a bit and make it even easier for you to get up and running on Proxmox. So if you go to the link in the description below, we now have a new updated downloads page. So we've got a new way to download our macOS templates, or you can download them the old-fashioned way, maybe even if you want to download them as a torrent and follow the old guide. Obviously the guide that I do do in this video will be linked on this page. For the rest of the Windows templates, they're going to be set up using the old one-click templates guide. So just the normal guide here. So let's get into setting up macOS on Proxmox. So you're obviously going to need a Proxmox host. I've got one here. I'm virtualizing it, but that doesn't matter. And all you need to do is first scroll down to repositories, and then make sure that all your repositories are disabled, sort of thing. So if we expand this, if we disable the enterprise repository, which I'll do now, and then add the non-subscription one, that should be us golden. Then if we go to updates and click refresh, it'll then do a get update, and then once that's done, if there's any updates that would need to take place, we can click upgrade here and then Y and enter. And what I'll do, I'll leave that running because it's always nice to keep yourself up to date. So I'll be back once the upgrades have finished. So the updates are now complete. It says consider rebooting. I'm not going to do that because the next steps will obviously incur rebooting. So if I leave it here and scroll up and go to shell, if we go back to the downloads page and select this and copy it and paste that, that'll download from our content delivery network. And then if we do bash tnw setup.sh, so the new setup, and press enter, we get a menu. So obviously we're going to start with step 1 and work down. So if I press number 1, enter, then you choose obviously your CPU brand. I'm using AMD, but if you're using Intel, you select the other. You press 2 for AMD, enter, and then what it'll do, it'll automatically get things set up. So it'll sort out the grub, it'll sort out the blacklisting of drivers, which is in the next step actually, and you can see updated the boot entries for obviously IOM and MU, etc. We press enter and then number 5 and reboot it now. You can see that will begin to reboot, and then we'll move on to step 2, which is again straightforward, loading that menu up again, and then selecting step 2. So I'll wait for this to reboot. Once it does, I'll be back. So we've now rebooted, and we're ready to run the bash tnw setup.sh again, and select 2. So it will prep you for GPU pass-through. So it's going to obviously add the VFIO options, etc., blacklist the drivers, update the init RAM-FS, etc., all for you without you needing to do it yourself. Obviously you can still do this manually, but this is far easier. So it's going to update everything, and then it'll ask us to navigate to the step on our website where you can blacklist your GPU, because obviously being your GPU is different in every system. We can't automate this, so you're going to have to do this by yourself. So it's going to blacklist the drivers. If you go to this URL, like so, Tor has written a guide on how to do it. Again, I won't show you that because I've not got a GPU pass through. If I press enter and then run step 3 whilst I'm waiting, I will obviously download Ventura in this case. Do not all of them go into valid VZ dump. So if you've got a different download destination, then I recommend just downloading the torrent and moving it over yourself. So if I press number 2, it'll then begin to download from our CDN. Again, depending on your internet speed, etc., depends on how long it's going to take. It's going to take me about 8 minutes, so I'll be back when that's finished. So you can see it's downloaded now. If I press enter, we can then press number 4 to get prepped if you use Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. If not, stay on the current kernel. But if you do use Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, you can go through this, which I will do. So it's going to download the kernels, the 5.53 kernel, sorry, the 5.15 kernel, and then it's going to unpack, etc., and then it's going to reboot. So you'll see it in a moment. So what it'll do, it'll download the kernel headers, and then it'll pin it to the default kernel. Then from there, obviously it'll ask us to reboot. So if you're liking this script, obviously please do give this video a like, because it did take quite a while to make. Also, consider subscribing, and if you're feeling generous, consider popping a donation using the link in the description below. If you need any help with this script, please let me know in the Discord server. Again, that's linked below. You can see it's going to reboot the system in 10 seconds. So what I'm going to do, instead of keeping you waiting, I will come back to you when the system has rebooted. So the system's rebooted. So now we can go to the local volume here and click on backups, and you can see the backups there. So this is Ventura. If I click restore, select the volume that I want it to go on, give it a name or whatever. I'm leaving it at default. If we click restore now, it'll restore the VM template. Shouldn't take too long, depending on your disk speed. It can obviously take quite a while. Once this is done though, we'll be ready to boot up macOS. So it says task OK now, which is great. So if you go to the virtual machine, you can see we've got a notes tab. Obviously you're going to read all these notes. Do note that I'm going to have to copy these arguments just because I've got an AMD CPU. You may not need to do this if you've got an Intel, but you can see if you have an AMD CPU. I'll show you how to do that now. If you're on Sonoma and you're on 12th to 14th gen CPUs, you also need to copy some more arguments. So please be sure to read this notes section. If we go to the node and then go back to shell and do nano etc pve qemu server 100.c1f, scroll down, comment out the old args and paste the new ones in, Control X, Y and enter. Now we're ready to boot Ventura. So if we go to console, full screen, click start now, should get the Proxmox BIOS. If we wait, we get our Ventura loader. If I press install macOS Ventura, you can see this will begin to load. Obviously depending on your disk speed, depends on how long it's going to take. So I'll literally skip forward for this part. You can see we're on the macOS recovery machine screen. Sorry. If we go to disk utility and format the Apple Inc. Verte All Block Media, erase that. I'll just call it macOS. Click on erase. That'll begin to erase the virtual disk. If we click done, go back, double click on install macOS Ventura. It will take a moment because it has to pull it all from disk, but if we click continue, again taking a moment, it'll ask you for the license agreements. If you agree to them, then obviously click agree, which I'm going to do in a moment. But this is basically it. It shouldn't take you too long to get up and running now. So we click agree, agree again, select macOS and click continue. It'll then begin installing macOS. So what I'll do, I'll skip to the part where we have to press a different option, which is worth noting, and then I'll show you on the desktop. So see you in a moment. So I thought instead of waiting, what I'll do, I'll show you the Hackintosh that I've just set up. So it's a Sonoma Hackintosh that I've set up on my main build. Obviously I was doing it in a Proxmox virtual machine, you see, so I can't show you any GPU pass-through or anything like that. So what I'll do, I'll get you prepared the Sonoma VM and then I'll just show you around it basically. So you can see this is obviously the Sonoma virtual machine. I've got my RX 570 pass-through to it. which obviously allows for GPU acceleration. So if I just go to about this Mac, I've got it on a Mac Pro SM BIOS. I will regenerate the serial number after this video, just so you know. But you can see 8 core, it's actually an AMD system, but it's showing up as a Xeon. My RX 580, 8GB of VRAM, and I've just got 16 gigs of VRAM, 16 gigabytes of RAM, sorry, 3200 MHz DDR4, and this is all running in Proxmox. So, obviously, if you follow the getting started that's in the disc called HSVE, that's how you all get set up. If you do need any additional help, please visit the Discord server where you can either get the community to help you, or you can get one of us on the HSVE team to give you a little hand. Thanks ever so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please do consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Even consider turning on notifications so you get the latest updates. But that's going to be it from me. Thanks for watching a HSVE video. Goodbye.